Hey, welcome to Say Anything with Keena B. I am Keena B. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you tuning in today. Today we're going to be speaking with Sareth Ney. I had a mind blip right there. I forgot what I was going to say. We had an interview with comedian Sareth Ney at Rambia's Market. Last week, he blessed us with his presence, and he formulated a show at the market, and we are so thankful to him for that. And so we took the time to record an interview, and we hope that you will enjoy it. But before we get into that interview, we are going to discuss using your voice and what that really means and entails. A brief discussion. And I think it's apt, especially when you're talking about comedians who use their voices every day to bring the funny. So join me and join Sareth. Okay, so here's a topic worth thinking about. The fear of speaking out versus talking behind. Okay. I'm trying to phrase this in a way where it's not offensive, but more so. Let's see, now I want to laugh. I'm sorry. Because the moment someone says, I'm trying not to be offensive, is like the moment that you know someone's going to be offended. And I'm not trying to offend anyone. Okay? And it's not what you think. It's not what you think. I'm really just trying to have a conversation here. Although nobody else is with me. No one else is over here with me. This would be a great conversation, though. It really, really would. Here's the thing. I've been mulling over in my mind lately what it means to be outspoken. O-U-T. Spoken. Like, and what that actually entails. Does that actually describe who I am? I was informed by a couple of different points in my life that sometimes I am outspoken, and it was always in situations where either I was being incredibly vulnerable with emotion, as in I was willing to say the thing about what I was feeling to strangers that have never met me before, right? Or I was giving my exact opinion on a political issue to an audience that is unknown as to what their opinions are on that same political issue. And the fear, no matter what it was that I was being quote unquote outspoken about, was that I would be bringing negative feedback, reaction, results, consequences to myself, or even further to anyone associated with me, based on the fact that I was an outspoken person. And I sometimes wonder if the fear that people have is for me or for themselves in being association with me. Which is funny to me because I don't associate with many people. And I really don't even know if the people I associate with are known. Um, but even still, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter because I always felt like the people that I did associate with were strong enough to stand on their own 2 feet. And so it's a discussion of, do you quiet yourself for the benefit of others? Or do you go ahead and say the thing that you say behind closed doors out loud for the benefit of others? Because it's never the benefit of yourself. Good or bad, the feedback that I will get, whether quietly or out loud, will happen. But here's the thing that I believe I know, as Oprah would say, for sure. Y'all remember when Oprah had that whole what I know for sure thing, or her aha moments? Remember that? Remember that? It's so funny when a billionaire has an aha moment. Isn't that funny? Like, she was out there being a whole billionaire talking about having aha moments. I'm not shading Oprah at all, for the record. I'm not. It's just like, it's so much easier to have an aha moment when you don't have to depend on anybody else's penny because you have your own pennies. You know what I mean? Versus if you're in my situation where I very much am reliant on other people's pennies to live, to have a business, to have advertising, to do anything at this point right now. I am building. So everything I do is in reliance on there being an audience that understands where I'm coming from and actually not only understands, they're invested. They are invested. They want to see me win. They want to see me win because they know that if I win, they win. Right? Whether directly or indirectly. You have people who root for you. And it doesn't always have to be a loud cheer. Sometimes it's a silent push, like keep going. And I understand that. Not everybody can root loudly. Some people, cheer silently, but they're still cheering because they have yet to find their voice. What does any of that mean? I ask that question a lot, right? Like, what is the point? I say that a lot. What is the point? I noticed that when I listen back at what I record, and I realize that I say, what is the point? A lot. So I'll tell you what the point is. When you find your voice, whomever you are, do not be afraid to use it. Because I personally believe at this point in time that if you don't use it, you lose it. So once you've found your voice, use it for however long that you need to use it, for however long God graces you the mercy to have it. Because you do not know how long you have it. And you don't need a large community or a huge following to feel like you have a voice. If 5 people hear you, and one of those 5 people, you know what, who cares? Not even 5. If one person hears you, understands, it resonates, and they are able to draw strength from it and be positively impacted in such a way that they go out into the world and they change it for the better, genuinely for the better of all, not just for some, not for a few, not for millionaires, not for thousandaires, not for just one, but for all, right? Then your voice matters. And you do not know who you may impact by using your voice to say the thing that others are afraid to say. I can no longer say it behind closed doors. I feel like I have to say it in front of everyone in order to be my true self. Because there's a difference between being polite and being oppressed. And I think that people have got it twisted, that they feel like they're being polite by not saying the thing out loud, when in fact they're actually oppressed, and it's fear that is keeping them from saying the thing out loud. And I'm not saying that any of you need to say the thing out loud, because everybody's situation is different and people support in different ways. What I am saying is that everyone's journey is their own. And however you choose to use your voice, whether quietly, loudly, is fine. Hey, Sareth Ney, how are you?
I'm doing well, Kina. How are you?
Good.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining me today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Awesome. So, you are a comedian. Is that what you do full time?
No, it's more of a hobby. I mean, well, I've had a great. I'm not a headliner. Mm-hmm. I have enough jokes to be a feature, but I'm like, it's just hard to get. And it's like I love the mics more than I do the actual shows, because there's no pressure.
Okay.
Plus, you don't really get paid either. So it's like pretty much everything's like a open mic, pretty much, but they call it a show.
They call it a show. Well, that's still very, very awesome, because you've been doing it for over a decade or more.
Over 12 years.
12 years. That's fantastic. Yeah. What made you get into comedy?
I was doing my apprenticeship out in Los Angeles, and I would come back to the studio with just funny stories. And like, he's known for his horror movies, so he was like, why don't you try stand up instead? And I said, I promised him I'd do stand up before I left LA, and it was at the Jump Gut Cafe before they closed. And I was, and that's what got me to stand up. Mm-hmm. And I got bit by the bug.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah.
You said you were doing an apprenticeship.
Yep.
For what?
Horror movies. His name is Clive Barker. Mm-hmm. So he's known for Hellraiser and Candyman, like the original Candyman, not the Jordan Peele one, but the 1992 one, the one that actually scared me.
Yeah. I remember. Okay, yeah. Candyman was scary.
Just don't say his name 3 more times.
Okay, because we've said it now twice.
Yep.
Or 3 times. Wait a minute.
3 in the book, 5 in the movie. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So horror films. Yeah. You like that genre?
I grew up with it. I remember watching Dream Warriors with Nightmare on Elm Street, and they were in the mental institution, and Freddy, took that guy's veins and like a puppet. Mm-hmm. And then I saw Hellraiser 2, and then that mattress scene where he's in the mental hospital and he saw maggots and he was just cutting.
Freddy Krueger really traumatized me as a child.
Too.
So it's interesting because you're a comedian, so you make people laugh, but you worked on horror films, which probably made a lot of people cry. That's a bit of your personality. How would you say that those two things mesh when it comes to your personality?
I have a good side and a bad side, and I try to keep the bad side away. Mm-hmm. And so this is the only thing that lets me tap into both simultaneously. Because when I go on stage, my friends are like, it's like a horror movie. It's like Texas Chainsaw. It starts off nice and easy, and then all hell breaks loose, and then it's a happy ending at the end.
I never thought of Texas Chainsaw as a happy ending movie. It's just like a conclusion.
Yep.
Less people lived. But somebody made it. Somebody made it out. That's funny. Okay. So you had 2 festivals that you do every year. Tell us about that.
The first one started off in Clive's place, like in the screening room, because I had a film fest. Like I showed all my short films there. I won an award for one. It's like the best, worst short film you'll ever watch. I know. It's called The Narcoleptics, and it won the award for best film to watch while stoned. Because like we had 24 hours to make a movie, but like my friend didn't get off work until 2 a.m, so we had 12 hours total. And then we had 3 hours of sleep, so we actually filmed it all in 9 hours. And it was like $25. None of it went to production; it just went to gas, like a shooter, an energy drink, and that's about it. Like we didn't have none of it went to production.
What did you use?
We use a Sony HD camera, HDV, and like we record. It was a small tape, so like we record over stuff we didn't need, but we had to reach the deadline. So and we didn't have editing software, so we record over stuff we didn't need, and so everything was like, all right, the first time the audience is watching it is the first time we're watching it. We don't know what's gonna next.
Oh my goodness! Was it supposed to be that way?
No, we had to reach a deadline. So.
Oh, wow. That was really a leap of faith.
So we won Best Film to Watch While Stoned. And it got shown at the Ritz Theater in Jacksonville recently. And
recently? like within last year?
Last month.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was like 17 years later, so I was like, not bad.
The best film to watch while stoned. And you said the best worst film to watch? Who gave you that award?
I gave that one myself. But
that is so funny.
The film festival got us the best film to watch while stoned because like we don't know what we're watching either. So here it is.
That's hilarious. Okay, so tell me why comedy?
It's just so therapeutic. I just love making people laugh. Like just to their reactions, and then like my friends love it when I say the jokes because they know what's gonna happen in the joke, and they just love watching people's reactions to it because they're like, all right, here it is. Let's see what their face looks like.
So the setup and then the bam.
Yep.
Okay.
And they just love it. I have like a joke that's like 2.5 minutes long, and it's lighthearted, but it's so gross at the same time. But they're like, we're all on board on this. We love this joke.
Okay. How long does it take you to come up with a joke?
It depends. Like sometimes, because I don't write in a notebook or a journal. Like I write on stage, and I usually go up cold. Like the person in front of me that goes up, they'll say something, and I try to like use it as Tarzan. Like, all right, this is their vine. I'm going to use their vine to go into this seat, so that we're all on the same page. Like right as I get on there. But I write all my jokes on stage, all personal stuff. But like I just love the evolution of it, like polishing the diamond, or they call it the turd, or trimming the fat. It's like whatever you want to use. It's like this is it. It took a while to make this joke happen. So, but whether it could be like a day or much longer, but you always add to it. And like Ralphie May has a class on YouTube where he does it at the Comedy Store. Like as soon as you feel like the joke is done, that means like that joke is already done. Like you can't add any more to it. But I saw like an evolution of my joke from the first time I said that 2.5 minutes joke to now. It's like, oh, that was like, I can't believe that one lasted like 15 seconds, and now it's 2.5 minutes. All that just keeps
because you can always make it better.
Yep.
Make it evolve. Okay. Yeah. You're in Florida, but you're not originally from Florida.
Nope.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Colorado. Born in Boulder, lived in Longmont, moved down to Pueblo, finished school, and that's from like elementary to college. So
now Colorado is beautiful.
It is.
What would make you leave the pristine Colorado?
The thin air.
The thin air. Can't breathe up there.
No. Every time I go up there, like my whole insides just clench up. And like my nose starts bleeding, like the whole 9.
Oh wow!
You get dizzy, and I'm like when I went there last time, I was like, I'm gonna give like a 7-day like rest, and then go on a 7-day tour.
Okay.
Yep. And so but you can do like 2 to 3 days, but they don't recommend that. As soon as you get off the plane, go hiking. They don't recommend that.
Oh wow! So really, every time anybody flies in, they have to
take a 2 or 3 day rest. And
I've never actually been. My husband has been, but he. At least he drove through it during a blizzard.
Yes. That's another reason too. Yeah,
the snow.
Yep.
Okay, so what do you like about Florida?
I love the comedy scene. It's like I'm well connected to everyone from the Panhandle to Miami, and like everyone knows me because I used to interview all the comedians myself. It's like there's like 1,000 interviews from the open micers to the headliners, and that's how I made my network grow. And like you can always do a show once a month instead of like waiting for the snow to go by and then go back to comedy. It's like that's what I love. It's like constantly doing a show every month since I lived here.
I think comedy helps develop other skills that are necessary for people to have, particularly in business. Because I mentioned to you that I love comedy. I like to dabble in it, but I'm still very much a baby. And I like to do it for public speaking, like to help drive out the shyness. But more so for the judgment, to be impenetrable with being offended by people not liking what I say.
Yep.
You know, because I think across all art mediums, the artist, whatever they are or how they do it, they have to be able to not allow other people's opinion to impact them about what they're doing, to a degree. Yep. Right? You people have mentors and things like that. You have to be open for criticism, but not the diminishing type of criticism.
Yep.
What's your take on that?
I believe that too. It's like art is subjective, comedy is subjective. Like you can be a fan of this person, but you don't want to be a fan of this person. Totally understand. So it's like, and I love going up there. I'm a storytelling comic because I love painting pictures with words and like seeing people's like painting it in their heads and being like, oh, I could see that. Like, because I say I'm a Ninja Turtle, and they're like, I totally see that. You look like a Ninja Turtle.
I did stop on that Ninja Turtle joke. I said, oh, that would make them laugh. Yeah. I said, that'll make them laugh. Well, also because I know the Ninja Turtles. Like, when you grew up... Oh, I'd have to say my era was the best era for the Ninja Turtle movies franchise, by the way, too. So, the 90s era specifically. I don't know about the ones that followed.
Yep, same here. I love The Secret of the Ooze, when they went to Japan, all that stuff. Yeah, that's wholehearted. The animated one is fun too.
If you say so. Yes, the late 80s, early 90s animated Ninja Turtles, yeah.
Have you seen the Mutant Mayhem one that just came out with Seth Rogen? Oh, you definitely need to watch that.
What is your opinion on dark humor?
I love it. Like, I just love people with dark sense of humor. I'm like, I can't believe you went there. But it's so funny. It's like, as long as they can put a really good spin to it and how brilliant their mind works and makes, like, the darkest stuff funny is just warms my heart. Like, because I just love when they can, like, think outside the box and not be, like, low-hanging fruit.
That makes me think of the comedian Pat.
Miss Pat?
Miss Pat.
Oh, I love her, yeah.
Because I would think a lot of her humor would be considered dark on some, you know, like, I mean, it's crazy the things that that she would talk about, but then it's at the same time, well, she's just sharing her story.
Yeah.
And you're not laughing at it as much as you're joining in her message or relayance of what occurred and understanding that she's healed from it, right? So, and it's like the truest way of being able to, it makes me think about things when I think about past, like, can I laugh at it though? Like, that's when you really know, like, even past the tears, like, can I laugh about something that happened? Can I find that one thing that's funny about it?
That's the equation of time or comedy. Is like tragedy plus time equals comedy. So it's like I always take all the things that I failed at and like laugh at it, because like that's the only way I can get over it. Yeah. So it's like it's the way to go. I mean, how else are you gonna cope? It's like the best medicine is laughter. So
exactly, the best medicine is laughter. How else can you go? Exactly. How else can you go? You can stay angry all your life, or you can find something to laugh about and get some joy out of the day.
Big time.
Yeah. Where are we going to see you next? Where's your next comedy show? Where are you going to be?
I only try to do it like once a month because like the travel and everything is just like not worth the free stage time. So like, but tomorrow is I'm hosting the first, like I'm going up first at the Kingsland Station. It's like a theater in Kingsland, Georgia, and there's like it's like a train that goes from the building to like a small town and then comes back around again. But we're going to like the main theater part of it, and so that's my next spot.
Awesome.
So
How many is it? Who else is supposed to be there?
There's going to be Brian Ziola. There's Will Blaylock. He's like my favorite comic in Jacksonville. He's just so brilliant. And then there's also going to be Richard Aragon. Ashley Connell's going to do a guest set. Austin Tanner's hosting with me. So it's going to be fun. It's like the MC is Omid. His wife Misha is going to run the sound. So they took a chance on us, just like you did. So it means a lot to us.
All right. So it's like a reunion of friends in comedy.
Yep.
Awesome.
So eventually we'll get like Georgia Comics, because it's in Georgia, but it's like 35 minutes north of Jacksonville, so it might as well be part of Florida. So, but like we'll try to I'm gonna have Austin run it, because like I wanted to connect people to.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you to Sareth Ney for joining me today for the interview and recording with us and stopping by and sharing his comedic talent with us. We appreciate him so much. If ever in South Florida, y'all go by and see Sareth. But he is, as he mentioned, all over the state of Florida. So you can go and see him. You can Google him. He is Googleable. He is on YouTube. So catch some of his work out there. Again, that's Sareth, Sareth Ney, Ney. Thank y'all for joining me today, and I will see you on the next one.